Hi, everyone. We'll just wait for everyone to get in and get connected to sound. There we go. Beautiful. Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing? Good. Lots of smiling.
Good, thank you.
Hi, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Hey there, Lee. Good to have you here. Cool. I think everyone is just about connected to audio. Yes. And I think we've got most people in now. Beautiful. Yeah, we have. Okay, cool. So we will get started. So welcome, everyone. Firstly, happy Mental Health Awareness Week. It's a really big deal and a really important thing to be coming together to celebrate and to open up the conversation about as well. We are, of course, here fundraising for Fierce Calm, and we have the wonderful Lee from Fierce Calm here with us, which is so fantastic as well to share this space with you and all come together to practice as one. I will share the link to Fierce Calm at the end before we leave, just if anyone hasn't had a chance to donate. I'll share that information, and we'll also send a follow-up email around tomorrow too, just so everyone has that. But I will pass you over now to the fantastic Heather Mason, who is one of my teachers, a very old friend now as well. We've known each other for a long time, and such an incredible teacher and advocate for mental health. I am so incredibly grateful for you to be here teaching us, and I'm sure everyone feels the same as me. So I will pass you over straight away to Heather. I'm just going to spotlight your screen, Heather, and take me off.
Okay.
No, there we go. You are spotlight now.
Am I? I'm not spotlighted for me. Oh, there I am. Okay. Hi, and good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming, and also for supporting Fierce Calm. I think that this is donation-based. I work with Fierce Calm. I work with Lee directly, and they do such amazing work. So I'm really pleased to be able to support that myself. And also Mental Health Awareness Week. So I'm sure that all of you are not new to the information that we've had a mental health crisis for a long time. But the one that we have right now is unprecedented. We do not have on record figures that echo what we're currently seeing, right? I mean, on average, statistics are showing a 3-fold increase of things like depression and anxiety. And like Liz said, I've been an advocate for yoga and mental health for a long time. I think it has within its framework so many of the essential elements that we understand in modern psychology are vital, and it seamlessly puts this together and has been doing so for more than 2,000 years. And so this practice is not just important for all of us here to do for ourselves, but to disseminate. And so I hope that if this is useful to you, I'm going to offer some very specific techniques that you also share some of those things with your friends, or if you're a yoga professional, your students, your family, etc. I also just want to mention very briefly, should I say this now, Liz, or at the end? Can I say it now about that? Okay. On the 28th to the 30th of this month, my other organization, so I'm the founder of the Minded Institute, but the Yoga and Healthcare Alliance, we've partnered with Give Back Yoga to put on this big international conference called Wellness After COVID, a yoga and healthcare symposium. And it's going to look at the problems posed by COVID with a real focus on mental health, right? That is probably the biggest issue that has arisen from COVID. It's not actually COVID itself or long COVID, it's the mental health crisis. So we'll be looking at that, as well as long COVID and social isolation, and how yoga can help to mitigate those issues, as well as how we might use this moment in time to help transform the health services. So it's this phenomenal international event. There's the link. I hope you can all come. And we've offered 2 rates. One is the full price of £200 and a 50% off ticket because of 100 pounds. We wanted to make it accessible to everybody to come, to join, and actually to be part of this broader movement. Okay, enough of that. You came to practice, and I want to practice with you. So this year's theme of Mental Health Week is about the environment and nature. And I think that we can connect to the environment and nature through our yoga practice, first and foremost through breath, right? As we inhale, we're taking the oxygen that is provided for us by all of the fauna around, the flora rather, not the fauna. And as we exhale, we give up carbon dioxide, not the unhealthy levels that are vital for plants to grow and to continue their life cycle. So it really does bring us back. And importantly, the practice of some of the relaxing yogic breathing techniques help us to feel more connected to ourselves and others, even if we are isolated, as so many of us have been for over a year. So I'm gonna, rather than talking about all of this in a lecture form, I'm going to invite you to have your eyes downcast or closed, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of this information. And then from there, we're gonna begin to practice together. So just feel yourself sitting wherever you are. Notice the touch of your body on the ground, maybe your bottom, your feet, parts of your legs. And ask yourself honestly, what does it feel like to be me here now? And just tap into that. And remember that the essential teachings of yoga, the core teachings, express that there is no distinction between self and other, that we are inherently, intrinsically connected, and that it is an illusion to believe otherwise. And that in fact, the entire path of yoga is to remove that obscured view and to see that we are all part of everything. So the practice does that, which is so essential in these times when we are physically disconnected. And I want to add a layer to that around science. So we now know, thanks to the pioneering work of Stephen Porges, and just continue to listen to me with your eyes closed because I haven't gotten any more physically interesting. It's just my mouth moving. Allow it to just absorb into your consciousness in a different way. So Stephen Porges, he developed an idea called polyvagal theory. And your vagus is the major nerve of your rest and digest system, or your parasympathetic system. And what he discovered was that this nerve also was really important in activating parts of us that help us to connect with others through that activation, and also when they're active, make us feel naturally bonded to the world around us, even if we're in solitude. And he called the network that this activates the social engagement network. And he has been discussing for quite a while now, over a decade, how practices like yoga can help us to inspire activity in the vagus and therefore make us feel connected. So we're going to do that tonight through the practice. We're going to do very specific things that help us to feel connected, to activate the social engagement network. So the first one is probably new to a lot of you, even if you know about the vagus, right? It's not specifically vagal, but it's related to the same system. Moving the eyes gently, laterally, left to right, helps to activate the parasympathetic system. And you can do so to start the practice off, either with your eyes closed, which I love, or with your eyes open. And what you want to do is move just left to right, gently to the periphery without pushing too much. You don't want your eyes to strain. It's quite amazing how this works. But as you move the eyes gently left and right, you send messages to the brain that you are safe, that you are secure. And it's a brilliant thing to do if you're meditating, to just move your eyes left to right. If you're deeply entrenched in negative thinking, it's so quick that the brain can change its focus, because technically and very intriguingly, the eyes are part of the brain, and their movement has such a profound effect on brain functioning. Okay. And let the eyes be still. And if you'd like, reach your hands and place and cup the warm hands over the eyes, because we don't use those muscles a lot and they get tired easily. Okay. And now the next thing we're going to do, before we get to the traditional yoga we usually practice these days, we're going to move the face. The facial muscle, right, which is the seventh cranial nerve, really helps to add to that sense of connectedness and actually bring calm. So we're going to do something together with our eyes open that's a little bit silly and playful, but actually pretty effective in shifting mood. We're going to do what I call Lion 2. I've made it up, so it's not exactly a classic yoga thing, but it's based on it. So what we do, right, for any of you familiar with Lion, you're sitting down, you inhale naturally through the nose, and you exhale and stick out your tongue. Right? Now, it's kind of like a really strong Ujjayi breath with the mouth open. Now, Lion 2, you're moving all of your face. So it's silly, it's playful, and it has a strong effect. So this is what it looks like. So before we get balanced, as this evening said, we're going to get a little wild, right? We're going to inhale naturally, and we're going to exhale, lean forward. And I want you to move your tongue. It actually connects to your vagus, your face, your forehead, and your neck a little bit. We're going to do it 3 times together. Inhale. And again, inhale. Last time. Great. And you're all thinking, oh my gosh, what did I come to? Okay. And the third point that we're going to get to, and then we will come to the breath. So the third aspect of evoking parasympathetic response in the nerves of the face is actually through the trigeminal, which has a branch here. It's your third cranial nerve. Is it your third cranial nerve? I think it is. Okay, so here you have a point that activates a nerve that sends messages back down to the brainstem and up, evoking relaxation. So we're going to do that as well, right? And the social engagement network by drawing infinity symbols, 4 in one direction and 4 in the other on the forehead. Do it with your eyes closed. Don't push too hard because you will strain your shoulder. But actually, a lot of pressure here is not a problem, right? It's why, like, if somebody keeps massaging your head by just drawing the finger up from where the base of the nose is upwards towards the scalp, it feels so nice, right? And make sure you switch directions. You don't want to strain your shoulder. Okay, brilliant. And now just keep your eyes closed. And we come to specifically activating the vagus, the major nerve of the parasympathetic system. And we're going to do it with Ujjayi breath, as our larynx here connects to the vagus. And when we do that breath, it has a greater impact on parasympathetic response. So we feel connected, socially engaged, and most importantly, if we're stressed out, we come back into balance. And what we're going to do is we're going to elongate the exhalation in each and every pose helping to further activate this vagus. Why? Because when we exhale, not only Ujjayi breath are we activating this root in the throat, in the larynx, enhancing activation of the social engagement network, but the vagus is also sending signals down to the heart, slowing it down, giving us a rest, and helping to come into balance. And likewise, when we continue to do this, we feel we're able to socially connect. So let us do this together. Inhale, either naturally or with Ujjayi breath, either is fine. And exhale, long Ujjayi breath. Don't force the exhale. Inhale, long Ujjayi breath, but do not push the exhale to be too long. Again, inhale, exhale longer Ujjayi breath. Lovely. And let's start with movement now. So bring the hands together in front of the heart. Inhale, draw the arms away, and exhale, long Ujjayi breath. Inhale. Remember, you don't have to do the Ujjayi on the inhale. Exhale, long Ujjayi breath, but you must do it on the exhale. And now, keep flowing as I'm talking. You were probably all taught that practice Ujjayi breath to do it on the inhale or the exhale, but it's really much more important for a sense of calm to do it on the exhale. One more time. And keep that Ujjayi light, not like the form that you do in Vinyasa flow or in Ashtanga. Bring the hands down, turn the palms up, inhale up overhead. Keep it light so that your goal is not to create heat, but to gently activate the larynx and to strongly but gently, I know that's a contradiction, lengthen the exhale. Last time. Lovely. And I'm going to move back now to my mat. I like being closer to the camera so I can see all of you, but you need to be able to see me as we move into more of the movement of the practice. So let's start with a gentle spinal twist. Place the left hand on the right knee, the right hand behind. Look over your right shoulder. And inhale. Exhale long. And as the mind goes away to the many things that you have to do or that you want to change your judgments, I want you to think, this time until 7:30 UK time is all about toning my vagus. That will promote balance. That will help me feel connected even if I'm alone. That will bolster my resilience. Keep telling yourself that when the mind goes away, and then come back to the practice. And go the other direction now. Right hand on left knee, left hand behind. Right? You are toning your vagus. You are activating your social engagement network. You are coming back through this practice, this simple, simple practice. So the reality that you are connected to all things, and it doesn't have to be something that you contemplate. It's just what happens. And then come back to center. Lovely. We're going to come onto our palms and our kneecaps for cats and cows. And I want you to continue this, right? So we're going to inhale, arching the back. And the exhale is going to take longer, as is the movement of rounding the spine towards the ceiling, because the Ujjayi breath is longer. Inhale and exhale long. With every breath, you are focusing, you are thinking about your vagus. you are coming to the reality that in yoga, the most powerful thing you can do is control your breath, and that the posture is secondary. Everybody that does research on yoga finds that to be the case. The posture is the dressing. The main course is your breath. Okay. And let's come into a little balance here, because tonight I'm talking about balance, right? It's like I have a lot of themes. Draw the left leg back behind you, flex the foot towards the nose, draw the right hand out, and the shoulder comes in towards your body. Let the head just be long, the neck long rather. And inhale, exhale long. Long ocean breath, long ujjayi breath. And release down. Lovely. And now draw the right leg back, flex the foot, draw the left arm out, head comes down. And your focus is the breath. Even as you work to keep yourself balanced, your focus is the breath. And release. Lovely. And let's push back to downward facing dog. Curl the toes under, lift the knees up, let the head hang. And as you're here, inhale, toning the larynx. Exhale, long toning the larynx, social engagement, calming. You can pedal if you'd like to here with your heels. And then just come to stillness with your breath again. Your breath being the main thing. And then either bring your knees to the ground and draw your right leg forward, or sweep it forward in between your hands. Let the left knee touch the ground. Both hands are on the front leg. Have the chest somewhat open, but not too arched, like that. Hands on the front leg, and just sink down towards the mat. As you inhale, exhale long. And then if you'd like, you can lift the arms up overhead, soft shoulders, continuing with the elongated exhalation. And when you do the elongated exhalation in more challenging poses like this, where your back is arched and your pelvis open, you train your system as well, if you keep doing it, to be able to remain calmer when there is stressful things occurring. Inhale, exhale, bring the hands to opposite sides of the feet. And we're now going to come into a spinal twist, right? So take your left arm on the outside of the right leg, hands in prayer here. And if you want, right, again, because we are talking about balance, you can draw your knee off the ground if you'd like. Or you can keep it on the floor. But all the while you're focusing on the breath. Long exhales. Inhale. Exhale, come around. Draw the right leg back. You're in plank. Inhale. And exhale. Come down either with your knees or straight as you wish. Inhale into a gentle cobra. And exhale back into down dog with a nice long exhale. And then draw your left foot forward in between your hands, either coming onto the knees first or sweeping it in between. The right knee comes to the ground. I'm just going to switch the direction so that you can see me when I do the twist. Sink into the ground. Having both hands on the front leg. Long exhale. Long exhale. Not forced, but long. And if you'd like, lift your arms up overhead, soft shoulders, strong fingertips. Using the exhale to help you remain here, forever toning your vagus. And then coming into a twist. We won't come down this time like we did on the other side. And either you can have the knee on the ground or you can lift it off as you continue with the breath. And then inhale. Exhale, come back around. And walk the right leg forward to the left. Interlace the hands behind your back. Have feet parallel to each other and hip distance apart. Have a micro bend in the knee. And continue to breathe here with the elongated exhalation. Place your hands on your hips, bend into your knees, and inhale, rise up. Just need to change the camera position. Okay. So as you're standing here, draw your hands forward, be in Tadasana or in mountain pose. Have your eyes downcast or closed. And continue with the inhale and the long exhale. Another thing I like about this practice, aside from talking about the vagal tone that we can develop here and the resiliency, is that it teaches a very essential point, which is that if we let go of more than we take in, if we relinquish, and in this case it's the breath, but it's a beautiful metaphor, we actually feel so much calmer. And it brings the world more into balance as well. The breath is a wonderful way to reflect on this teaching. That as we inhale gently, we take in more than enough. Actually, if you inhale too strongly, you activate receptors in your lungs that indicate to your brain you're stressed. So you don't need to take in so much oxygen. And then if you let out slowly, a lot of breath, but not in a fast way, in a controlled, thoughtful fashion, you slow down your heart rate. You calm your nervous system. and returning breath back to the world. This is such an important thing to remember. And also when we're struggling mentally, where we think we need to take much more in to feel differently, it is often letting go, slowly, mindfully, and with awareness. And so ironically, if we use the breath in that process, often our mental health improves. With that in mind, place the palms together, interlace the fingers, have the index fingers pointing upward and the thumb. Draw the hands up overhead. I'm sorry you can't completely see me. I can kneel, right? Because I'm doing the same thing as you standing. Inhale, lift the heart center, and exhale, come to your right. As you continue to inhale and exhale long, I just need to look at the time. Okay. Keep thinking. With each elongated breath, you're giving back. You're letting go. You're toning your vagus. I mean, so much is happening through that simple act. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Inhale and exhale to lower. Inhale, rise. Exhale to the center. Okay. Focus your eyes in front of you. Feet still hip distance apart. And we're going to come into tree and into a physical balance. So let's do something we don't usually do before balance. Let's actively move the eyes bilaterally, right? We learned about the benefit of that. And you can do that either with your eyes closed or open. We really set the brain up for understanding new information is going to come in when we calibrate for balance. Okay. And relax the eyes. If they were closed, open them. And if they were open also, focus your attention about 2 meters in front of you. Feel the feet on the ground. And we're going to lift up the left leg. And you can either do tree with your heel and the rest of your foot on the shin calf region, or up above the knee joint towards the pelvis. And in this balance, continuing with the long exhalation. If you want to be a tree with branches going towards the sky, feel free to do that as well. Whatever kind of tree you want to be. That rhymes, tree you want to be. And then place your hands on your hips. Lift your foot up and gently bring it to the ground. And I'm sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Spring is coming. I always get a little bit of allergies. Okay. Continue to focus your eyes. Don't move them. Feel the breath. And now have your left leg as your anchor. And lift up your right. Try and mirror what you did on the other side. Inhale, exhale. exhale long. I want you to hear me say it all week long so that you start to incorporate it into your life. And whenever you're stressed and you need to come into balance, you inhale and exhale long. Whenever you're disconnected, you realize you can connect inside of yourself by inhaling and exhaling long. Enhancing the capacity to connect as well in the future. And place the hands on the hips. Release the foot down slowly. And just kind of move smoothly to release. And we're going to come into Warrior Two. I ask you to draw the left leg back. The foot turned in to look at the other one. The right knee bent. And extend the arms out. Look over your front middle finger. And continue to inhale. Exhale long. And sometimes when I'm here, and especially during lockdown, I've actually imagined that people's hands are touching my hand, and as I'm inhaling, I'm drawing breath from them through my hands into my lungs, and as I exhale, I give breath back. And remember, I'm exhaling longer, so I'm giving more. Sorry, my dog is eating something. What are you eating? What are you eating? And rise up, release the arms, take some big circles. And change the direction of your feet. So now the left leg is forward, the right leg is back, bend into the left knee, extend the arms out, look over your front middle finger. And maybe you like that image. We're actually imagining taking in breath through your hands and connecting with people on the left and right hand. And exhaling, sending that elongated breath back to them. Inhale, rise. And exhale, release. Lovely. And step to the front of your mat. Interlace your hands as you did before, lifting the chest up, bend the knees, and fold over your legs. Relax the neck and head. Continuing with what we've been doing. And release the hands to the ground. Inhale, look up, and exhale, make your way onto your belly through plank. And just spend a moment actually on the mat with one hand on top of the other, and either the forehead or one of the cheeks on the hands as you inhale and exhale long. And you really feel the breath as you have this gentle movement of the belly against the ground. Maybe you even feel like you're inhaling from the earth and exhaling long, giving the breath back. Bring the feet together. The hands underneath the shoulders. And let's come into honest cobra, pressing the feet into the earth and rising up with the hands slightly lifted from the ground. Keep the neck long as you inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And without coming down, let's come into super person. Lift the arms in front of you, soft shoulders, legs come up. Continue this way. A long exhale as you hover above the ground. At least that's the idea with super person. And then release and press back into child. In this version of child, have the knees together, the back of the hands towards the feet, the forehead on the ground. And just rock the forehead side to side, sort of activating that trigeminal nerve point. It's better if you have a block and then the nose can hang over the side. It's more potent. But it's still good to do this. We're just going to stay here for a moment, totally and fully focusing on breath. Just that. I'm just going to come a little bit closer to the screen so I can see it. And coming up from child, allow yourself to come onto the bottom. Draw the soles of the feet together to touch. Hands right above the ankles. The elbows pressing into the legs, lift up. And again, inhale. Exhale long. And if you feel you have room to come forward, go ahead. Close your eyes. And just be here. And inhale, rise. Exhale through the mouth, nice and long. Then draw the right knee out to the side, straightening the leg. The left leg comes in towards the pelvis. Flex the foot in towards you. Have your hands on the left and right side of the leg. And lift the heart center up. Inhale. And exhale, allow yourself to fold forward. Relax the neck and head. Continuing to lengthen the exhale. And then take your first two right fingers on the inside of the right toe. Wrap it around. And either have the left hand overhead like this, where you may be able to reach the foot, opening through to the side. Continuing. Continuing even as you feel the stretch, to really just focus on toning the vagus, on that exhale, on the returning of breath. And inhale, rise. Exhale, arms come down. I don't know if you can hear that constant dinging that I can hear, but it's my dog with the piece of her collar against the dish. And if I close the door so you don't hear it, she's going to come back in a second and scratch. So I hope we can just think of it as like a chime in the background if you too can hear it, because I have a very sensitive microphone on. So now draw in the right leg. And place the hands on the left and right side of the leg and draw yourself forward. Again, elongating the exhale. With all the other sensations you feel, letting them be just part of the experience of breath. And what do I mean by that? So as you inhale, there's often a slight intensification of any pulling, any tension as the muscles of breath work, and that ripple effect comes into other muscles all the way through the body. And as you exhale, it's a passive action comparatively, and there's a letting go, and the feeling of tension often shifts. And if the exhale is long, you can really let the tension shift and experience that ease. Now go ahead, draw the fingers on the inside of the left big toe. Open the side body up, and you can reach over. Some of you might be able to also touch the foot. Inhale, exhale long. And rise up. Release the arms. Straighten both legs in front of you. And then come to lie on your back, drawing the feet, the soles of the feet onto the ground with the knees pointed up. Then we're going to rock the lower, middle, and upper back off the ground. And then exhale long so that action takes longer. Bring it down. We're going to do that 3 times. So here's 2. Exhale down. Nice and long. The last time. And this time we're going to rise up and hold. Interlacing the hands behind the back, rolling the shoulder blades under us. Drawing the legs towards the midline. As we inhale, exhale long. Release the hands, roll down. Hug your knees into your chest. Continue to exhale long. And then open the arms, left and right, like a T. Place the soles of the feet back on the ground. Cross the left leg over the right. I'm keeping the shoulder blades on the ground. Let the knees start to come towards the right side. Feel free to also turn the head to the left if you'd like. And again, inhale. And exhale long. You might even imagine that the brainstem via this nerve on the exhale is slowing down your heart rate. But it's not just an imaginal thing, it's actually happening. Every time. Rise up to the center and cross the legs. Let the right come over the left. Roll to the right side. Look over your right hand if you'd like to with the neck, or you can stay centered. And again, just keep imagining every exhale, the long exhale, relaxing your heart rate. Every time, over and over and over. And you really are. And rise up to the center. Hug the knees back into the chest. And then allow yourself to just release the knees and come into Savasana. Palms up, legs straight as long as your back feels okay with that. Feet as far apart as a mat if you're using one or not. Eyes closed. And now in this last moment, don't control the breath anymore, but watch it. What does your breath do when you're not asking anything of it? Really be interested. What is your pattern when you're not trying? It's a really interesting question because our breath pattern is partially determined by our oxygen carbon dioxide balance, and it's partially determined by a habit that has very little to do with our actual need. So just watch, be really interested in this. One of the amazing things about doing breath practice, pranayama, is we can readjust the set point to what we actually need and what is actually best for our health, mental and physical. But first you need to know, how do you breathe? How do you breathe? Are your breaths consistent? Do they change? Do you have a pause after your exhale? Do you feel like you need to take in a lot? Just Keep watching your breath. How do you breathe? How do you breathe? Gently and slowly wiggle your fingers and toes. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead onto the floor behind you. Draw your knees into your chest. And roll to your right hand side, just nesting for a moment. But watch again, how do you breathe? It's so interesting that as you change position, especially when you're not controlling your breath, how it naturally shifts what it does. Yogis knew this. That's why they took people through so many poses, in part, yes, to stretch the body, to prepare for meditation, but also as you go pose by pose and you're breathing, it has this multitude of different impact as you switch position. And they understood, as does modern respiratory science, that tiny little changes in the way we breathe and the position we breathe in has significant effects on the mind. Gently, ever so gently, press yourself up to sit. And with the eyes downcast or closed, just ask yourself the same question I asked you to inquire at the beginning. What does it feel like to be me here now? And again, elongate your breath. And take a moment to give it a namaste. Reflecting on its subtle but immense power. Just by elongating the breath, you calm down your nervous system, you enhance your social engagement network, and through a bit of contemplation, you can remember that to let go provides no more calm than to take in. It's been a pleasure to practice with all of you this evening. I just want to remind you that this is a fundraiser for Fierce Calm, and that they do great work, and that they support. If you're wondering, how do I get yoga to underserved populations? Think no further. Right? Lee Watson and his team do such a brilliant job with that. And I also told Liz that if any of you are interested, I'm going to provide a discount code to my next yoga therapy for anxiety training, which is the 14th to the 18th of June. I know that most of you read my bio probably on the website, but my background is in yoga therapy, but also neuroscience, physiology, and psychotherapy. I've done a lot of master's degrees, and my focus is on yoga therapy for mental health. So if you want to learn more about that for other people, it's a professional training, not specifically and just for yourself. I'm going to offer a 10% discount on that. And I think you all heard about the conference, which is the thing that I'm most excited about right now. Yeah. So thank you so much. I can stay on for a few questions if there are any. And then I have to take my poor dog for a walk because I've been working since 8 o'clock this morning. And she only had like a 20-minute walk at lunchtime while I was on the phone in a meeting. Poor thing.
Thank you so much,
You're
Heather.
welcome.
It's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that practice with all of us. And I will send an email around to everyone tomorrow with that discount code. Thank you so much, Heather, for sharing that. And I will just send a reminder of the links for Calm as well. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this evening. We have another class that starts in about 5 minutes, but I was thinking if any class and your dog also needs some love, but I was thinking if anyone does have any questions and they want to send it to me on the back of that email, I can always get in touch and ask you if there's anything in specific.
Yes, but it'll be very hard for me to answer questions right now, if not now, because the conference, my long training, the CPD I'm teaching right now, and the other events I have this evening until the end of the month, I'm basically just waking and working. I have no other time and breathing long through all of it. But I'll do my best.
And also about 5 minutes, if that works okay for you or for anyone who's got any questions.
Yeah, that's probably better if you do have any questions, anything about breathing or physiology and that stuff, or maybe there are none. Maybe nobody has any anyway. Lee, do you want to say? Oh,
hi,
Bhavna, yeah.
Hi, yeah. So I'm. It was really lovely class.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in yoga therapy for people who have lived with and through cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder if there are similarities in the sorts of teachings that you are talking about, and also about linking into the NHS and bringing yoga into that sphere rather than it being totally separate. So I very much resonate with all of you.
Well, thank you. Well, actually, the Minded Institute is doing a yoga therapy for cancer training. It's on our website with Julie Robinson. She's a trained yoga therapist with Minded. She was also a nurse and she has a lot of experience with cancer. She's been working with it for a long time, including with Macmillan. And I do think that there is an appreciation within the oncology world of the value of yoga. In fact, one of the biggest areas of yoga research is within cancer. And there are some hospitals in the United States, that are including it as treatment as usual protocols now for breast cancer, which is quite amazing. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. Kristen, thank you. Kristen, did you have a question as well? Or comment?
Yes, just quickly. I'm going to be 6 months without a cigarette tomorrow, and thanks to Liz, actually, some of the workshops that she's done as well on breathing and that. But what I've noticed is that my breathing, I seem to be inhaling for quite a long time, but I'm still struggling to exhale for a long time. And I'm just wondering, is that maybe because the lungs are getting used to actually breathing properly again? But then I feel that's kind of contradictory, because I've read that when smokers are actually really good at breathing because they're having to inhale and exhale as they breathe in and out with their cigarette. So it's just, that's my question. It's not really a question. It's kind of,
That's actually a really probably lengthy discussion, because it also involves how many years you were smoking, how many cigarettes a day you were smoking, how that may have impacted your lungs, how that's impacting the smooth muscle in your lungs and your bronchi, and whether it's just a habitual response to something or you're actually shedding some of the tar that's built up in the lung tissue. So it's a really interesting question. Unfortunately, I would recommend you have a yoga therapy session, like at least one session, and talk to somebody that's really knowledgeable about breath and maybe even with respiratory issues, and they'll be able to provide you with more information. I mean, it's a super interesting question, but there's like a whole intake somebody needs to do to answer it properly. Yeah. Oh, my website is not a psychotherapy website. It's the Minded Institute, which I should have mentioned because that's my company. That's my primary company, at least. So you can all go there. And Lee, did you want to say anything? Because this event was for Fierce Calm, which you founded.
I just want to say a huge thank you to you, Heather. That was absolutely fantastic, and I'm enormously grateful for you. We work together, but all that you do for Fierce Calm as well. Heather provides scholarship places on minded trainings for us and really enables us to do a lot of the work that we do. So I'm hugely indebted to Heather, and also to Liz at MoreYoga. Since we met a few years ago, MoreYoga and Liz have been an absolutely tremendous support to us, and we've got lots of exciting things in the pipeline to look forward to as well. I think going forward, once we get back into studios, we're hopefully going to be using the MoreYoga studios for some of our community programs with some women's shelters and groups of Asian single mothers and various vulnerable groups. So they provide a space for us in which we can do that. So very grateful to Liz and Heather, and especially to everyone who came this evening. Thank you. Thank you so much for your support and for showing up tonight, because we couldn't do it without the support of people like all of you. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Lee. And yeah, it's been wonderful. I love having this relationship with MoreYoga, by the way. We do some awesome things together.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you, everyone, for joining. It's such an absolute pleasure, and just reminds me how incredible it is to connect, even when we're not in a space. You can still feel it. So I'm just really grateful for everyone. So thank you for coming and sharing this space, supporting such an incredible cause, and Heather for making that happen. We are just so thrilled. And I'll be in touch with everyone tomorrow with those links and the discount code that Heather so kindly has offered everyone as well.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Good night. Good night.
Long breaths. Bye, everybody.
Bye.